The polls still say it's a slam dunk for Joe Biden, but I keep meeting so many people and seeing a lot online who still think that there'll be a lot of shy Trump voters out there, and it could be an awful lot closer and could possibly be a Trump victory. What do you think?
I completely agree. I think there are more shy Trump voters this time than last time. The consequences of coming out in support of Trump are much greater because of the cancel culture and people not wanting to get doxxed online or lose their jobs and livelihoods. I think people, it's a very fearful campaign environment right now in the US. And I think the only thing to look to is are the rallies and the spontaneous parades and caravans and boat flotillas that come out in support of President Trump, just to show how much enthusiasm there is for this president that just might surprisingly come out in more droves than last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see a higher up take in voting. I have to say, isn't it normally something in the region of 45%, which I think is absolutely shocking in the world's one of the world's biggest democracies. It's interesting, though. I mean, COVID was definitely on the discussion line, and of course, Joe Biden blaming the 220,000 plus American deaths from the pandemic at Donald Trump. And basically, he said anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain president of the United States of America. And Donald Trump said, the virus is going away and a vaccine will be found by the end of the year. There are two completely different stark arguments. And it's amazing how much COVID has become, even more so than here in the UK, a political debate rather than a scientific debate in America.
Yes, it's probably because it happened in an election year. And Joe Biden doesn't have a career to run on. He doesn't have, 47 years in the US Senate and also as vice president. He doesn't have much of a track record. So he has to run on something. And he's pointing to this. You cannot blame over 200,000 deaths on one man. We have governors whose rules and regulations also impacted the spread or the lack of the spread of the virus. And, it was Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, who sent infected nursing home patients back into the nursing home, which attributed to most of the deaths in New York. So, you can't just blame one person, but Joe
No,
Biden sure wants
I,
to.
I absolutely accept that. I think the fact that we've seen so many different deaths, and again, the number is larger in America. They've got a very high per capita death rate, but again, and a lot of those deaths may have happened under any other presidency. I thought what was one of the things that was interesting though is the ongoing issue over these emails from Hunter
Yeah.
Biden, Joe Biden's son, and the allegations there, and it is very very clear, that there has not been a full denial that these emails are fake. This is not the case. Joe Biden though did say, I have not received a single penny of any foreign government. He was absolutely categoric in that. How big an issue do you think that is? I mean, it hasn't made big play in this country at all. It's largely been censored on social media, this
Yep.
story. And I do think it's extraordinary how many media outlets are saying, oh, well, these things aren't proven, so we're not going to write about them. You think, well, hold on a minute. You write about an awful lot you haven't got proof for. But the fact that the Biden campaign, I mean, I have no idea whether these things are true, but it's very simple. If these emails are false, claiming that there was meetings arranged with Joe Biden between people putting Hunter Biden, his son, on the payroll, if these meetings were arranged, it's very simple. You just simply deny it. You say these emails are not true; they are fake, and that's not been said.
No, that's not been said. And what's also been said, though, is that Hunter Biden's former business partner did come out in a testimony yesterday and say that these are indeed Hunter Biden and emails. And when he refers to the big guy in the emails or my chairman, he is referring to Joe Biden. And so this business associate wants to distance himself from the Bidens because he's saying, no, actually, this is all true. They were leveraging the Biden name to make millions from communist China, Russia, and Ukraine and other places. I mean, I didn't think the Bidens were quite capable of this. I thought Hunter Biden was just this delinquent, druggy son who has a really rocky love life. But as it turns out, he seems to be the money man for the Biden family. And
Okay.
it involves Joe Biden's brother as well. So there's a lot more that needs to be uncovered, and the media is not doing their job on this, but I don't think they can ignore it much longer.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Sarah Elliott, Chair of Republicans Overseas.